This is Anthony Richardson, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is AJ Brown, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is Josh Allen, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
RosterWatch Nation, what is up, and welcome back to the epic and the Thanksgiving edition of the RosterWatch Pick'em Show. I am Cody Carpentier, as always, here on Mondays and Thursdays for your primetime specials. We'll also be live on Friday for your weekend conversation. You can find all of our stuff over at RosterWatch.com, including all the picks that are behind the paywall now, beginning just last week when we went 13-2. You'll get the 3 free picks, as usual, in your email, in text, on the show, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll talk about all the other picks that we do love. 13-2 last week, a maniacal 62.6% on the season. We've been telling you every single week. All you got to do is go over there. You can read it for yourself. No lie, all facts. Almost 63% on the season. Over 80% last week. Here we are. Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to your family. We're going to have a good week. We're going to have a good weekend. We're going to have a fantastic Thursday because we got some good games. We get the Giants and the Cowboys. We got the maybe that's not going to be a good football game. Bears and Lions. I hope it's a good football game. Chiefs and Raiders on Friday night. Was that a 14-point spread? Yeah, maybe not a great game. Dolphins. I think Dolphins Green. I can get behind Dolphins and Green Bay. I think that's going to be the game that I'm probably most looking forward to watching because they're sitting. I think the Dolphins are sitting at 4-6. Green Bay looks gettable right now, and if they can continue to get Waddle and Tyreek going, I think I'm gonna be in line with that one. First and foremost, though, it's feast week over at Underdog Fantasy. Profit boosts, discount tokens, gimme picks, and more. Starting today, November 27th, going through the weekend. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts and present where Underdog is. Feast week. Go on over to UnderdogFantasy.com today. Use that promo code ROSTER and get a deposit bonus up to $250 with a 50% up to $250. There it was. QR code right there on the screen, et cetera, et cetera. You know where to find it. You know where it is. Let's get to those 5 picks because I tell you what, I'm going to have more than 5 courses on Thursday, but the 5 picks I'm going to start with is the punter, Tory Taylor. The numbers you can find over at Underdog right now, average yards per punt, 47.6. I'm not touching that, but what I am touching is Tory Taylor 1.5 plus punts inside the 20-yard line. If you don't remember, if you don't know, now you know. Tory Taylor's an assassin of a punter coming out of Iowa. He's an Aussie. He's 6'4". He's 200 pounds. He's an animal. And the one weapon he does have is that right leg. And I do believe in this game that the Detroit Lions are going to force Chicago to punt more than 4 times, maybe 5 times on the season. The Lions are top 10 in punts against, averaging, I think, 4.6. I said I think. In fact, I read it. 4.1 punts per game forced upon the opposing team. The Bears are hit or miss. In a game like this, I think there's going to be about 12 or 13 drives. Bears are going to punt probably 5 or 6 times. Tory Taylor is going to get a couple of opportunities to put that football into the 20-yard line. One key proponent here, no Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond's an IR now. That's your returner. What is sometimes going to keep that ball from staying inside the 20? Khalif Raymond catching it and running it out. Tory Taylor, 1.5 punts into the 20. Give me the higher. Next, Malik Neighbors. He's got a quarterback now in Drew Lock who doesn't give a damn. He's going to throw that football down the field, 10.5 targets. I thought the number was a little bit high. It seems high. It feels high. It is high, but it's not high enough. 10.5 targets for Malik Neighbors on Thanksgiving. Sign me up for the rookie to have a dominant performance. Maybe he only catches 4, but I tell you what, he's going to get targeted more than 10 times. Christian Watson. All right, sounds like no Romeo Doubs on Thursday. Christian Watson and that speed against Miami, I think, pays off. I know it's on grass. He's used to playing on that grass in Green Bay. I like Christian Watson at 43.5 receiving yards. Other Christian Watson numbers that you may be interested in if you're over there at UnderdogFantasy.com right now. To score a touchdown, rushing plus receiving touchdown, 1.47 times your dough to go higher, 0.73 to go lower. You're getting juice on the higher, of course. 3.5 receptions is also a number you're getting more juice to go higher on. 22.5 first half receiving yards. So 22.5 first half receiving yards is essentially saying 22.5 is the longest reception number. The longest reception number he does have is 21.5. So 22.5 in the first half is essentially that, right? So you can also play with that. First downs in this game, 2.5 first downs. Interesting. I think you need to touch the ball 3 times for that. Christian Watson touching the ball once maybe hits you that first half number or that longest reception number. 43.5 receiving yards for me makes me feel the best, makes me feel the most at home. I can do that on 1 football. I can do that on 4 footballs. Anywhere in between. Christian Watson, 43.5 receiving yards. My little brother just drove 35, actually we'll call it 34 hours. I think it was 35. We'll call it 34 for this 34 hours with me across the country. My mom and my brother did. And he's looking up props on his phone, right? And he goes, look at this Caleb Williams one, 34 pass attempts. And I said, you know what, 34 hours in the car, 34 pass attempts. I think he's probably going to go higher. I think he had 41 last week against the Vikings. Detroit's going to score points. Caleb has to try and keep up. They don't really have the best running game right now. Caleb Williams, 34 pass attempts, higher via Tiger in the car. That's a special. That's a Tiger special right there. We'll call that one. Caleb Williams, 34 pass attempts higher. And Kevontae Turpin, when he plays in 4 of the last 5 games, he's went higher than this number. I don't know why it's so low. Cooper Rush threw the football to him last week. He looked good. Does anybody look good in Dallas right now? No. So 6.5 receiving yards. I don't even got to say anything. Kevontae Turpin catches 1 ball. He's going for 6.5 receiving yards. So I like my opportunity. I like my chances. The guy had a great kick return last week. When he touches the ball, he's dynamic. So you can't tell me they're not going to at least try to get the ball into his hand once. I understand that could be a carry, but let's just bet on that being a reception. Kevontae Turpin, 6.5 receiving yards. All these are hires because we don't go lower anymore. It just doesn't work, period. We're going higher. Torrey Taylor, higher than 1.5 punts into the 20. Give me 2. Malik Neighbors, higher, 10.5 receiving targets. Give me 12. Christian Watson, 43.5 receiving yards. Give me a higher. Give me 80 and maybe a touchdown or 2. Kevontae Turpin, 6.5 receiving yards. Give me a higher. 20-yard score does it. Caleb Williams, 34 pass attempts. This is screaming higher. He had 41 last week against the Minnesota Vikings. Detroit's going to score points. Detroit's going to force Caleb Williams to throw the football to Keenan Allen 10 times, Cole Kmet 10 times, DJ 10 times, and he might even get rolling the ball 6 times. And we'll get over higher than 34 pass attempts. Roster Watch Nation, go to rosterwatch.com. Get your rankings for the week. Get tapped in for DFS. We got the DFS tool live for Thursday, Thanksgiving week. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. Snowman, happy Thanksgiving. I see you in the chat, brother. Appreciate y'all tapping in, tuning in to the channel, rosterwatch.com, at rosterwatch on all socials. I'm Cody Carpentier, and I'll see you on Friday.